We're live, folks!
Legend, switch it up.
We got a lot of kicker clocks to talk about tonight. It's Friday, and wait, oh, come on, man. This happens every time. Wiz, wait your turn. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's Friday. I missed you guys, and we're back. And we're back in action. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you guys for just always hanging out with me. And without further ado, let's kick off the intro. I have so much to talk about. And like Dave says, don't forget to smash the like.
So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Mic check 1 2, check 1 2. There's John K tapping out as usual. Love you guys. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? It's Livin Loud with Andy, late Friday night. Would you look at that? You see that right there? Just look at it. And yes, we're live from the Kicker Cave. Thank you, William. Love you, man. And you're the rock star. Thank you for always tuning in, being here. Tonight's going to be fun. I got so much to talk about. So much. See you guys in a minute.
Livin Loud with Andy.
Uncle Bobby B. Wiz! Every time! What is up, everyone? It's Friday. You know what that means, and we're live. So, thank you guys for tuning in, being here, and been a little bit of a roller coaster of a week, but I'm just happy for every day that I have, and I'm alive, and everyone's safe and healthy. Thank you so much. Jesus Christ. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. And man, we got car audio to talk about tonight. Lithium batteries. We got, Carlos SPL challenge. We missed that Tuesday. Talking about the Unmasked after show that we missed and the Unmasked show. And, well, we got a CX1800 amplifier that we are dynoing next Tuesday. So make sure you tune in for that. And I'm making a whole nother video just for that too, with some bonus content, which is going to be awesome right after the show airs. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell. Lots of content going to be coming your way, more so than not than my usual, you know. Been working on it. I'm on the grind. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You guys are awesome. And yeah, we hit 6,666 subscribers, and YouTube here is rolling out to 670. I'll take it. Thank you guys so much. Your dedication. Let's see here. We got Mac. What is up? How is it? Doing well, man. I'm just happy I'm back. I hate missing any kind of live stream, and you guys know I do not cancel unless it's like life or death kind of thing. So appreciate you guys being loyal and always tuning in, hanging out with us. What's going on? Sean, Lynn, thank you for hanging out with us. William, Andy knows that you just got to look at it. If I say it too many times, they might unsubscribe. Thank you so much, William. Thank God it's Friday. You know the deal. Mr. Mullen. Speaking of Mr. Mullen, I was going to throw this up earlier. We got some other stuff as well. But Mr. Mullen repping the Livin Loud with Andy t-shirt on his last upload. If you're not subscribed to Mullen Performance Audio, you might want to do it. Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Mullen. Telling you guys, I got a lot to talk about. There's so much going on, and it's Friday, and that's great. That's why I love doing 2 streams a week. And sometimes, you run out of information, but whenever you miss one, it's like full tilt boogie. Let's go. Dubby. What is up? I know we had a few in Kicker Club here. Chris Designs, Todd Boner. This is, I think I messed that up. Yeah, definitely. Bonner. We'll go with that. Thank you for tuning in, Todd, Brian Piper, Lee Nicholson, Brandon Erickson. Thank you for tuning in. And Tommy Dakin, what's up, bro? Hope all is well with you. Doing well, man, and it's just life and work. I'll leave it at that. Just besides car audio and a few family stuff that's going on. Nothing no one else deals with, but still, just, when the cookie crumbles, it crumbles all over the place sometimes, and you got to pick up all the crumbs to make your cookie, and then you give it to Cookie Monster, and then you have no milk, and then he's just mad. Otherwise, great, man. Thank you for tuning in and being here. Kibo! What is up, Kibo? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you're doing well, and the wife, everybody else, man. Dear, what is up? What is up, man? You guys are awesome. Making it rain, huh? Oh, here we go.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Needs to say, hit it 25. Make it rain. Peace. Thank you, 25, for just, saying, hey, appreciate you, man. And yes, make it rain. Last per 25 says. What's going on, Fee Mobile Solutions? What is up? Thank you for hanging out with us. We're just doing a little bit of housekeeping like we normally do, and I got a lot to talk about. I want to know what you guys are working on this weekend. I've been doing a lot on the side. I've had a little bit of extra time to do some car audio, which is a good thing. But regardless, man, I'm excited. TDH is coming around the corner. I'm not letting you guys know exactly what we're giving away until I do a live stream about it. And we got to do a little video. But hey, I got lots of stuff in the works. It's going to be awesome. I just got to do like the easy stuff, like literally just do an intro and outro. Like the hook, line, and sinker to bring them in to watch the content. I did all the testing, all this stuff, and I've been having fun. I will say that. The CX1800 amp dyno on Tuesday is going to kind of shock you. We already know, Kicker does rated. Spoiler, but there's a little twist about the CX1800, and you guys are going to be kind of amazed by it, to be honest. And I actually stumbled across it from competing. I'm like, well, how's that make sense? There's no way. That's got to be wrong. And no, it was right, but there's a reason why it was right. So you guys will see that on Tuesday and the video. It's going to be awesome. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Kyle, what is up? Sup, fam? You must have a lot of life or death situations, We'll go with that. Yeah, you never know nowadays. you know, I have been feeling like healthy, and that's the irony of it. Like, I'm not getting sick, you know, and I know I'm always like, oh, I'm dying, and which I am. The kids are getting sick, and, but I've been actually feeling really good, which is weird. You know, it just, that's how life kind of works sometimes, you know, everything else is going good, and then you think, oh, you know what, that's great, and then something else happens. That's what I'm dealing with. Cedric, what is up? Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Let's see. Dubby. Speaking of Dubby, 44,000 members in Kicker Club. And matter of fact, we got a few messages popping up here. But in Kicker Club, 44.4 thousand members. It's awesome. Love you, Bobby B. And we are going to talk about the Kicker swag. 44,000 members. If you're not in Kicker Club already, what are you doing? I do want to talk about the Kicker gear because Uncle Bobby B. I got so much to talk about tonight. Make sure you get some popcorn. Uncle Bobby B sent me a message saying that there is new Kicker gear out, and I love the t-shirts, the swag, the stuff, the gear. And real quick, before we get to everything else, we're going to go over just kind of what they got. What I really think is awesome. Oh yeah, I did move that down there. I'm down here. Hello, how you doing? Okay, so you kind of just got to look at it and say, oh, would you look at that? And this is the first one. I'm like, what? War Horse t-shirt with the Bronco on the back and Kicker on the side. That is awesome. Way to go, Sandy. I like this one as well. I love Kicker, you know, maybe for your wife or something like that, you know, and a few other ones here. And the new youth t-shirt, which I wish they came in a medium size, and basic grade t-shirt. And this is one that's only from the Unmasked show, so I don't know why it's on there, but it's what you get from the giveaway. Regardless, I wanted to show you, there's a hoodie. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but this blue hoodie, which is really awesome, you know, it's more of like a laid back, not black and yellow in your face, but you're going to want to look at this. I saw the backpack and I was going to click on the backpack and I'm like, Kicker clock? Are you kidding me? Literally, they are selling a Kicker clock. That is awesome. Way to go, Kicker. Thank you for listening to everybody. That is so cool. Even though I already have one, I want one like that. They used to make these back in the day, and it's cool to see it come back. And, you know, with what better way to have than the bucking Bronco, you know, for the Warhorse. It's gonna be awesome. There's a few other things as well on there. Go check it out. Kicker.com stuff section. You will see it all in their gear, all that fun stuff. Thank you, Bobby B, for sharing that to me. We got John K taking care of the comments. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, man. And I am all over the place here because I got so much to talk about, and it's Friday. That is clipping. Man, you guys said you wanted more gain. We got more gain. LLwA with a $10 super chat. This show with all my audio brothers is perfect on a Friday after a long work week. Thank you to everyone in the community. Thank you, LLwA, for just, you know, being here, man. It's crazy, the dedication. And sometimes I have people messaging me like, hey man, I can't make it, like it's like they got to go to work, like, hey, I'm not feeling too good, which they're not, and you don't have to do that, but I love you guys for that. Like, it's those moments right there is what makes all the negative of whatever you're doing in life kind of go away. So thank you so much, LLwA. You're one of those guys, just like the community here. Thank you for tuning in and being part of this community. You know, like, it is, we come with open arms, you know, we're not, we don't have the pitchforks. Now there might be other ones like that, but we are not like that. Thank you, LLwA. Let's see here. What did I miss? There's so much here. I just want to try to keep up with the comments and the stuff that I have on the side here. I know a lot of you guys probably already seen this video, but I'm going to play it anyway because it was for Tuesday's show. So this was awesome with Carlos's run. Amazing. Literally amazing. Oh, there we go. You should be able to hear the background music, but these are all the runs with the challenge. 0 to 500 watts, 0 to 1000, and you can see like it usually doubles, you know, power and around 2 to 3 dB gain each time. And then you reach a certain point where that doesn't happen anymore. But still, adding more and more power, you got to double that every time, you know, to get that gain. And sometimes you just reach power compression limits, man. You really do. But I was just shocked with how many times that Solo X took 20K over and over.
Here we go.
We gotta turn this up. There we go.
What happened?
Oh my God, it's fried.
I hope you got a few $1 million, because that's what they're gonna charge us if this thing is fried.
Everything checks out.
What? It's amazing. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Reassemble!
Reassemble! Had to.
There it
Had
is!
to.
There it is! What did I tell you?
We got it.
Enjoyed repeatedly throwing you to the ground.
A 180.24, and man, I had to make this as a meme.
Legend, switch it up.
And now you're probably wondering why there is that meme. Where did that come from? Well, I got a delivery today, and I'm just going to say that. So let's roll the clip.
Legend, switch it up.
What?
Go ahead. I don't know. Oh my.
Fantasy Football 2024 champion. That's awesome. So cool. Look at that. Did he 3D print that whole thing?
I don't know.
Holy moly.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. That is awesome. Look at that Lombardi.
Legend, switch it up.
Definitely not rigged. Thank you, John, for making the Lombardi trophy for Kayla for winning the Livin Loud with Andy Fantasy Football League. We're going to do that again and a little bit more organized, but all the guys, you know, that want to play, played, and it was awesome. I didn't think Kayla was going to win, but I knew she had a better team than me, and Cornet's over there gritting his teeth right now. He is gritting his teeth. But, you know, you guys did good, and you never know. You'll really never know. We're not going to talk about what Bubba did in fantasy. Thank you for tuning in, Bubba. John K. the man. That clock looks dope. I probably wouldn't understand what time it is unless it's 7 or 3 o'clock with that thing, but it does look cool. You know, they missed an opportunity here. They needed to put an 11, but I get the 73. We need to turn it to 11 too. Absolutely, John, and it is awesome. You know, I mean, that's just like this one. You just kind of got to look at it. You know, if you just, man, I'm just pressing buttons all over the place. If you just look at it, you can kind of tell, oh yeah, it's 10:15. Yeah, close enough, right? You just got to look at it. That's all you got to do, John. Thank you so much for just being here in the chat and taking care of things in the background. Sean, Andy, you'd appreciate this. I took my Harley out of storage yesterday, and then we got snow today. Oh, man, you know, that's the irony that I'm talking about, man. You get time to work on something, and then boom, winter comes back. It's been pretty nice here so far. I haven't went outside too often. I know that sounds terrible, other than going to work yesterday and stuff, but I've been doing a lot in a studio. I've been in here more than my own bedroom. It's been great. Bobby's like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. I am tired of waiting.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
That is the man, the myth, the Uncle Bobby B. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Dubby, that score was an ace. Kicker did well with the new Solo X. You know, and I say it over and over, game changer. And I know people are going to say it's more cone area than a 15 round, but it just smacked on every 15 round by like a few dBs and was keeping up with pretty much all the 18s and then some, and that's less cone area than an 18. So take it how you will. It's a kicker, and that's kind of the point, is where you can put more in the same area. So if you are limited by that and how the mutual coupling works when they're just all together, you know, it's one big woofer. It's awesome, man. I am glad to be on this train, the kicker train. Multiple runs at 20K power. Absolutely. Over and over and over again. And I think the only reason why Derek's Solo X failed, which they actually did tweak a few things after that, you know, production and, you know, because that was the early days. He got his at the same time I got mine. So mine is the same as his, and I've been wailing on it. But I think they changed something. I'm not entirely sure what, but still it did. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue was just unloading and going past mechanical limit. And, you know, whenever you have an SPL build, you're not playing 30 hertz. That will unload. And whenever you just have a ported enclosure in the back of an SUV, it's just, you're not getting as much loading as you would in the SPL build. And that's the point. It's creating so much pressure in that cabin and just how that stuff works. But either way, over and over, and I've seen people commenting, oh, it's going to fail. I'm like, nah, man. No, that's the last thing. The anti-clock is way better. Sorry, not sorry. You know, I mean, it is homemade. I love everything that Kayla makes because Kayla made it. And same thing with Andy. Thanks, Dubby. I appreciate it. Shout out to Cornut. He had the idea for the trophy. Cornut? I don't know if I've heard of this guy.
Cornut. He does traveling installs.
I know that Cornut. I know that Cornut, and he is the mastermind behind so much. Thank you, Cornut and John, for making that awesome trophy. Should have brought Kayla on. I mean, we got the couch over there, the kicker couch. Maybe we'll have to bring her on one time. I don't know. We'll see. She's taking care of the kiddos. Otherwise, she probably would be on more often. Maybe not as much as MBE's wife, but still, I would like to have her on. Because, man, she does car audio too. Like, she's not sitting there installing and stuff, but she knows the basics and then some because of me, you know? And it's just like, yeah. She could keep up. She could keep up. Cedric, I just put rims on the car. Throw some D's. He threw some D's for his kickers. You gotta have nice shoes, man. And that's how I am. You know, and I got my Slamology shoes, and now I got my kicker Slamology shoes, because those are two different things. You gotta have nice shoes on your car too, man. You really do. All right, let's see. Got it. Caught up on the start, and I think that was the actual chat too. Thank you, John, for holding on to those. Guys, how is the internet working for you? Is the stream intermittently pausing on you too? Let me just take a look at it here. Can't change the latency. I hope it's not the latency or the computer. Let me know what it looks like on your guys' end there. Well, I can't tell anywhere because that's all just StreamYard other than here. Let me just take a look at it. Doesn't look too bad from what I can tell. I don't know. You never know with this stuff. You never do. What's going on, Brian Townsend? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Josh Jacobs, we're all waiting. Where is the Warhorse? Man. I know I say this a lot, and I said it for the Solo X, and, you know, it's here now. So, that's a little blurry there. It's here now. They said Q1, end of Q1 for it, and we're still not out of Q1. I would guess hopefully this month, you know, in March, it would be out on the street, available at every dealer that orders them. So I would be patient. I usually don't send people saying, hey, wait for the Warhorse. But now it's like, wait for the Warhorse, you know, because it's like gonna be here. And you're just buying some L7Xs. What better amp to pair with it? I would be definitely patient for that. All right, Dave and 25. Jay, Garrick is watching. Garrick said he had a fever, but I appreciate you tuning in anyway, Garrick. Okay, stream good. Baba's using Bobby's AOL account again. It might be out of hours. I got a few of them CDs for you, Bobby. If you ever need any of those, I don't know how many hours I got left on them, but we'll get you straight. DIY looks good. YouTuber, all good here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Would you look at that? It's all good. You know, I'm not surprised because it happens. It happens with this live streaming stuff, the internet, people using it, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. Oh, 174. Boss did a 174. Coil failure, cone launched to the moon, but it did a 174. And I think it took 14K. If you look at their website, I think that's their new peak rating on that. It's true. It's a peak rating. It is a peak rating. Thanks, Andy. You're the man. I'm waiting for sure. I definitely would, dude. Just because we are right around the corner. And, you know, after the whole L7X debacle kind of thing and just not being there as soon as they thought it was because the whole economy kind of just took a nosedive and then parts and just the whole process. They don't want to make too many promises, but they do give us a heads up. Hey, it's coming. You know, I'm kind of asking, hey, when's this 18 coming? But I don't even want to ask because I know the process with it. I know they're working on it, but, you know, it's just Steve Irby, it's got to be right, and the parts got to be there, and they told their, like, that was the whole episode on Tuesday's show, was just how they do it. If you guys watch the Unmasked show, there's literally like 80 parts to just make a woofer, like not even the parts to make it, but the processes of making each part, and that part, and the next part, and molding those, and then making them, and then being like, oh, well, we need to change it, we need something else. And then waiting for that to come, ship it out, back forth. It's a lot. So if it wasn't for the shipping issues that, you know, overseas we have now, more so, I mean, it's getting better, but still. And then the chip shortages, the whole nine, man, it's been insane. Let's see. Thank you for tuning in, though. Andy, where did the Solo X place in the list of subs? It actually got 11th place. I know it sounds terrible. Out of 25. And I think it could have got... Okay, if it could get louder, the score would go up. And I know that sounds retarded, right? Obviously. But what it is the coil didn't fail after multiple 20K burps. And if he had more power available... could he get a louder score? I think so, and he would need a different impedance Solo X, because I think they sent him the dual 1 and then he needs the dual 2, so he can run 4 amps on it, and you know, all that fun stuff, to put like 40K on it. So who knows, maybe they'll redo it, but I mean, even in best case scenario, they double the power, and even when he doubled from like 10,000 to 20,000, the score didn't go up like 2 dB. It went up like 1. So at the very most, it probably would go up like a half a dB to a dB at the very most and still wouldn't get first place. But, you know, it comes down to efficiency. If you look at his chart, they have it on basswars.com. Just type in Bass Wars Carlos. Just Google search it. Comes right up. You'll see the list. And they actually show each power each power level. I did have a screenshot of that. I totally forgot to save that for tonight's show. But you would see like on like 1,000 watts, like it's like way higher than a lot of them because it's efficient, you know, and then just adding more power, you get diminishing returns with any driver. And, you know, I feel like the Solo X doesn't need all that power, and that's kind of the beauty of it, man. Like, yeah, you can keep sending power to it, but it doesn't need all that power. Now, could they make a driver that needs all that power and can take more? Absolutely, but that's kind of not how Kicker does it. But could they do it, and will they do it? Who knows, man. Maybe they want to make something down the road of a Solo X 2.0. Possibilities are kind of endless, and we'll let Kip wink that for you. Either way, they're always working on stuff. I will leave it at that. Let's see. Marcus Stanley, thank you for tuning in again, man. When are the replacements for the L7Q Class 8 coming out? I know they actually did mention it a little bit on the Unmasked show of a replacement of, well, the comp, but then what was it? The L7Q replacement parts. Can't get them anymore. Are they going to do a replacement of that? We won't know. Whenever they do, I mean, like I said, I can't stress it enough. Like, they are always working on something. Like, whenever they make a product, it's like 4 years until they, like, make it. So they probably started that a while ago and then make it. Now, if it's an entirely different line, like the L7X, yeah, man, they started that a long time ago, and I'm sure they've been thinking about that since they made the first one, and then the second one, and now this is the third. They're always 2 steps ahead, and it's just how much you hear about it. So, when is it coming out? No clue, but you will find out first through Kicker themselves. You can always email social@kicker.com, just bug Bill a little bit. Hey, when's that coming out? And always tune into the Unmasked show. You will hear that information there, and Kicker socials, man. You really will. I'm so far behind on the comments. Blue cheese. Love you too, Garrick. Thank you for making it. I'm surprised you made it. You didn't have to do that, but you know, even when I'm sick and I miss out on the show, I'm watching the other live streams, you know. I am playing hooky. It's okay. Here is the picture of the trophy. I did want to share that. That thing is awesome. John, I love it. Kayla was shocked. You guys already know. You've seen the video. You guys are so cool. Because I was going to make like a t-shirt or something for the winner, and then Kayla won, and I'm like, well, now, like, okay, I'm not making you a t-shirt. You know, honestly, I lost track of just everything, and it just got pushed on the back burner because I've been trying to do so many different things, and we're managing. But still, thank you, John, for making that happen, and Cornut with the idea, man. You guys are awesome. Another dynamic duo. I do want to show you guys this. You guys will be seeing some battery test videos here soon. Now, this is 2 banks. This is my first DIY bank that I'm putting in a car. Because my amp dyno is a DIY bank, but it's just a bunch of bus bars laying on a piece of wood. Not that hard. This is actually going into Kayla's car. And yes, Jake, it's 6S. And it is the 20 amp hour prismatic cells from Battery Hookup in a limitless Cyber 12K case because one of the cells swollen. And I'm going to have a nice longer video of me kind of talking about this, putting it together, putting in Kayla's car, seeing how the voltage drop is video wise. And you know, it's not the most perfectly, you know, done DIY build, and you're not going to see anything in there, but I wanted to make sure it was safe. You know, I later did cover up even the top terminals with a little bit of electric tape, wrap the cells so they're not like spreading apart, you know, and everything is, I got more styrofoam in there after when I put it together, and this was a test fit. I'm actually going to take it all apart and put 0 gauge for the inputs. That's only 4 gauge there. And it does well, but I want to make sure it's a 100%, have a little 4 gauge or 0 gauge run. And here it is in Kayla's car with the SDK enclosure, and it's hidden under there pretty nice. It looks really good. I wanted to make sure her electrical was stout for this L7X on a KXA 2400 wired at half ohm. I know, right? Half ohm, huh? and it's got a UC31, and to be 100% honest with you, I don't even need that UC31. I'm using it as a voltmeter because I don't want to cut into Kayla's car to put a voltmeter, you know, because like she's letting me put a system in her car. I'm not going to destroy it. Like when that is the only thing that's different in the car. Like the head unit looks super clean. Everything looks stock. It looks perfect. It functions great. I don't want to start, you know, doing some custom stuff on her dash to fit some voltmeters in. And that does the job. And let me tell you, I know the 2.9s are great, but if you don't have a high output alternator, capacity is king in a lot of aspects. Even if you have a high capacity cell and it's only a 1C discharge, if you got 400 amp hours, you can still discharge 400 amps, and it's going to be a tank. But it's going to be a lot of weight, and just is that right for you? So I really like those 20 amp hour prismatic cells. Realistically, she has 2 XS Titan 8 RSV6s in her car, and whenever you do something DIY, let me tell you, you can save a boat ton of money. But let me also tell you, it is so much work. I have been working on this thing because, one, it's the first time I'm like doing it. I want to make sure if like I get in an accident, nothing bad's going to happen. And just, you know, taking my time, making sure it's done right. And a lot of hours and time redoing things, testing things. Like I was doing some testing too with a single bank, which you guys will see. Again, I just need to do an intro and outro. Easy stuff there. But man, you know, I understand where, you know, pre-bought doesn't make sense for a lot of people. But if you don't know what you're doing and you don't want to spend days trying to make sure everything's good and, you know, that kind of stuff, time is money too. And I think those Titan batteries, the pre-built ones, anything, JY, just JP, Thunder, Limitless, Lithium, just all of them, they have a place because a lot of people out there do not want to run AGMs in their car, and they want something that is lithium and they don't have to worry about doing anything. And it makes sense. It really does. But yeah, you can save a lot of money DIY, but we all know that. Ram, what is up? Thank you for tuning in and just being here, man. Chilling on Kicker Club, the whole 9. You know, Brad was saying something about the spacers. That's why I have them put together and the styrofoam is holding it together. Not so much spacers in between. Whenever I did some tests with the single bank, I did have some spacers in there. I don't know. I understand it could make sense on a vibrational issue, or if something were to catastrophically fail, it's not going to, maybe it's going to prevent something maybe. LTOs, though, I really feel so comfortable putting those in my car compared to anything else, just because of just, you know, their chance of something going bad is a lot lower than other chemistries. But no. See, and that's the thing, man. You know, you could save a bunch of money, but it's like, if you don't do it right, you forget a step, things could go bad. And your car is probably pretty expensive, right? You know, it's more than what these pre-built batteries are going to cost. And you're either buying a new car or you're buying an expensive battery if you don't know what you're doing. And that's never good. Thank you, Dubby. Thank you, John, too, for saving that. There's a lot here. So, John, you're on call tonight, man. You're on this. Mike DePoli! What is up? Skibs. They're Kibby cells. Kibo cells. Kibo. Andy moving up from AGM to lithium. Yeah, let me tell you. I do not run anything AGM other than my backup solar setups. I got an XS31 over here for this, and 2 Group 31, same size really. Those UPS starter, they're backup batteries, and for the solar setup that I'm working on. It's already got a backup power supply 2000 watt inverter, but still, one step at a time. Jake is staying out of the battery talk, but I'll smile and wave support ya. Oh, come on, Jake. You know, and that's the thing about all this stuff, man. There's pros and cons with every battery. And, you know, how much space you want to take up in your car, how much discharge, how much recharge. The 2.9s really do make sense. The 10 amp hours do make sense, because they're high C discharge rate. And I think the 10Cs would be really even better for that kind of setup. But again, I would probably want even more capacity because that alternator can only dish out 100 amps. That'd be great if I can discharge 750 with 2 of those banks that stay at 12 volts. But if I'm only recharging it at 100 and I have half the capacity, that's half the time. So it really depends. Every system that you want to match your batteries with your amplifier and system, just like how you match your amplifier with your subwoofers. Everything you got to plan and match it out, man. You really do. And I understand some things, yes, makes sense. A lot of builds do not have high output alternators. It's the last thing people think about. Unfortunately so. And it's one of the it's one of the harder things to do. It's harder to do that than just simply plop in a battery. And that's why you see some people put lithium under the hood, and some lithium is just not good under the hood. Any battery's going to get hot. Really is. Come on, Jake. I need you to support me on the battery talk too, man. Vibration. Got that. Yeah, and sodium ion, I feel like, is the future in a lot of aspects. It is right now, it's not quite as energy dense as a lot of other lithiums, but the way they get it is a lot more plentiful compared to using a lithium as the anode? No, the cathode. Anywho, the electrolytes inside, and they're not digging and doing all that fun stuff. Okay. So sodium's a little bit easier to get, and it's going to be the future in a lot of ways. It really is. And there's a chemistry for every scenario, man. And some are going to phase out and some might not. I mean, we're still using lead acid, right? And it is super safe from my understanding. Basehead 30, what is up? Thank you for tuning in, man. Jake, I'm going to pull down this hat, man. You got to talk batteries with me. I'll pull it down. I'll make another one with a really tiny logo. I'll be like, oh, come on, man. Come on. Mr. Mullen just picked up 2 huge AGM batteries today from the part store, closing 50% off. And AGM batteries, I mean, if you're doing something that's like a deep cycle, and that's the thing, different types of lithium batteries are better or worse at deep cycle discharging. I do so much research on this stuff, and I've always had a thing for batteries, even as a kid. I knew what was what, and it's something fun to learn about, because it's just physics at the end of the day. But the AGMs definitely do work. But again, it's just like, even with lithium iron phosphate, they have a lower voltage, and that works. But if you're trying to keep 13 to 14 volts, the lead acid, the AGM, they're going to be strong at like 10, 11, 12 volts. And there was a video with Hi-Fi Vector. He touched on it a little bit. I'm going to go more into it, but I would like to do it with a brand new AGM rather than some used ones. But you still get the idea. And that's the same problem with like the 5S LTO. Your voltage is going to be lower, but it all kind of depends what you're really trying to do. And some people are particular. I do like the 6S. And Kayla's car, she charges at 14.4 and actually stays there. And it works. It definitely does. I get a whole 14.3 at the back. 0.1 volt drop, I will take that. And either way, it all depends your situation. But that's awesome, Mullen, and you can't beat a deal. You can't beat it. I know that they've probably talked about every subject of what products to do. And I know that they are affiliated semi with Excess Power. And they were with JY with the quad box build. Let me tell you, the kicker cube. But I don't know. That's a good question. I think with everything, like how they do make it available, even like all the kicker wire, the kits, like you can buy your entire system at kicker.com. I don't know if so many people would be going there for a battery too, and would it make sense? But that's a good question. That's a question that you email Bill to. Kicker, social@kicker.com. Again, just blow up his email. Blow it up. El Fuego, thank you for tuning in, and get some sleep, man. I'm just happy that you were here tonight. Kibo, the $5 super chat. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You just gotta look at it. Thank you, Kibo. Appreciate you. The first QR code I scanned cost me my innocence. The second cost me $5. That is good. Thank you, Kibo. Man, I'm not going to ask about it, you know? Less said, the better. But hey, appreciate you, Kibo. And John, I did want to tell you, probably not live would be the best way to do it. But the PayPal, even with the Streamlabs, it's not bad as long as you donate over like $4, just because they take 50 cents no matter what. Even like $1, they take 50 cents of that. And I think it was Kibo last week donated 20, and I got like $19. So I got most of it. And you get it right then and there. Compared to YouTube, which is a month, but either way, and YouTube takes more. So that's why we have that for the loyal guys that are supporting. And Patreon's about the same. Patreon's like 8%, but then after all the other stuff comes out, it still about equals out what the PayPal is. But even that's better than YouTube. But YouTube, you get the super chat function, which is awesome, and you can't beat that. So I'd pay for that too. You know, I get it. Oh, look at Bubba. There we go. Oh man, it's gonna start raining.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Andy, rain has been called for, but I can afford sprinkles. Show your support for our man Andy by hitting the like, people. Do it now. Thank you, Bubba. I know a lot of you guys are saving up for Slamology. I'm trying to save up for TDH too, and the end of the apocalypse, you never know, man. It's nice to have a little bit of stash in your back pocket just in case, yeah, it hits the fan. But thank you so much, Bubba. You've done so much. You always do, and you're always here. Core founding member, thank you for always tuning in, and thank you for the donation. Would you look at that? Rain has been called for. I guess we can do it. I seen 25's comment too.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Ready?
Peace. I did want to show, let's see, we talked about the battery, we talked about Cornet, we did that, we did this, we did that. Okay, cool. So we got, okay, cool. That's good on that side of things. Let's see, Andy put spacers because of vibration. Yes. Yeah, that's why I just took rounds of electric tape so that it wouldn't move on the bottom end. But there is so much like foam in there, like it just doesn't move. I get between each cell, there could be a little bit. It was really just putting it together, making sure everything would fit, because that's what I was worried about. Just getting it in that case, because let me tell you, those LTOs sitting on their side just fit. Just fit. But I'll see what I can do. I'm trying to get it ready for TDH. I took it out to Pittsburgh and back last night, which is like 40-minute ride back and forth. And they did well. Took a look at them. Didn't even get warm. And let me tell you, steady. Steady, steady, steady. I think I dropped down to like 13.7 at the lowest. And then it just like went up to like 14.1 and just started charging a little bit up to that 14.3. It's steady, man. I don't know if they're better than the Plananos, but the Plananos were only one bank and 24 amp hours, so twice the capacity. But they're prismatic cells, the internal resistance, how they recharge, discharge, all those factors. I don't know. Prismatics, the skibs. Yes. Yes. Oh, come on, 25. You don't like yellow? Come on, man. Come on. Did you not see the 90 amp hour that smoked up? No, I did not. I did not. What 90 amp hour? No spacers and rubbed. Wow. Now, I wonder if they have those in every single DIY build. Spacers in between. I mean, it makes sense. It does. You're driving through wherever, and the cells could rub. I get it. Am I that loud? Maybe. Maybe I am that loud. Let's see. Okay, cool. I got pushed down. The comments do that to me sometimes. SDK throwing pennies? Or is that, fries?
Ding, 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 ding. Fries are done.
Guess the fries are done. Here for the fam and the great vibes. Hit the like. Thank you. Appreciate you, Jake. And you guys are kicking it. 31 likes. 36. You guys are awesome. I know I got a little boring there. I feel like a lot of people just... Batteries are a hard topic to talk about because everybody, it's like they got their thing. And you don't want to make them mad. But I want to test every single different type of battery. And I got the equipment to do it. So I'm going to do it. And there's like one other YouTuber out there doing it. So, well, other than Brad too. But he's been doing that stuff for years. I want to do it too in almost more real world situations. Battery power, a stock alternator, and a high output alternator. And see what they are capable of. And what is recommended for each. I know. I had a hard time deciding tonight. I really did. I really did. It's always a challenge. Super Ernie Jr. Let me find out you're Ernie's son. Give away a shirt. You know, we do giveaways all the time, and thank you, Kicker, for doing that. I like doing that stuff, and I hate making you guys wait. Like, I finally just got out that 50% off discount code. Maybe we'll do something like that for the TDH live stream, where I'm going to show you guys, well, not at TDH here, but we're going to be talking about TDH and the Kicker stuff that we're giving away. We'll do a t-shirt giveaway then. Make sure you tune in. We'll do it on a Friday. Or actually, yeah, we'll do it on a Friday. We have to. Because Tuesday, it would be an unmasked show or a Tuesday stream, which a Tuesday stream might be something different. I don't know. We'll see. Make sure you tune in every time. We'll get you that t-shirt. Cedric, the battery I got from you, how do they rate? That's an AG, that's one of those Group 31 deep cycle UPS batteries, and they work. At the end of the day, though, it's kind of like at 12 volts, you'll do pretty good. At 11 volts, you could see 3 to 400 amps out of that at 11 volts, if not more. But is 11 volts where you want to be at? And that's the battle with this stuff. And what is the operating range? How far you want to drop? How well can your stock electrical handle 16 volts? And, you know, what you're trying to do. It really all depends, man. It really does. I would say, I think those are like 100 amps down to 12 volt, maybe. You know, and a lot of it is your alternator. I've even done testing. Man, it's been really insane. A lot of testing with just these batteries and stuff. And I wanted to see... You know, once I started pulling over the power supply, aka your alternator's current, how the battery kind of helps and doesn't help. Well, even whenever I was pulling about 80 amps, and the power supply is good for 100, give or take. It's like 1300 watts. So I was still in that range because it's voltage times amperage, all that fun stuff, what that power supply can do, and your alternator. But still, even before I even got, I think it was like 50 amps, and it started pulling a little bit from the battery. I had a capacity tester in there too, which we do that too. Spoiler, it does rate about the same as they rate it from battery hookup, but I was doing the 8C rate of pull, meaning what they are rated at continuously over and over and over again. Like you're playing bass in your car and you're not charging your system, how much capacity you actually get out, because that changes of how much current you're pulling. If you're pulling like 100 amps out of those batteries compared to 2, you could get a lot more capacity by pulling only 2 amps, and just how that works with battery chemistry. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Andy, what do you think about the expensive battery caps? Battery caps, you mean like the capacitors? There's bat caps from back in the day. I've never had those. I'm trying to remember exactly what those are. I don't know. I think those are capacitors. I think they're kind of like the ultra capacitors. I don't know. I've heard of them. Or maybe they're just lead acid or HEM or something. I forget. But you know, you get what you pay for with a lot of batteries, and sometimes you pay too much for what you're getting. It all depends what you're trying to do and your experience level, man. SDK CJ went on strike today and was picketing in the front yard with a sign, "More twisted tees, less work while playing Wheeler Walker Jr. for the job." Man.
Ding, 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 ding. Fries are done.
I don't even know what to say. You know, I feel like everybody's losing work these days. Jake doesn't have a helper anymore. Oh, man. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody. You could hire MBE. Oh, man. Just think of SDK and MBE Enclosures combined. Oh, man, I would vote for that. I would vote for that. I forgot to throw up the $5 super chat, but we're going to do this for Trap House. Sorry, Jake. Love you.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You just got to look at it. Thank you, Trap House. Appreciate your support. Going from 100 amp hour A123 lithium iron phosphate cells with the 148 amp hour LEV60 lithium iron phosphate cells. You think I'll notice a difference going to XS Yin Long 80 amp hour LTOs? I'm charging at 14.6 stock alt. Shout out SDK. You know, with the 80 amp hour, that's 2 banks of the Yin Longs. And I don't know if those are the brand new ones that they have that came out with the new wrap. I like that. You're going to hold one, even with less capacity, you're going to hold a higher voltage. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing as I have in like Kayla's car with the 6S on a stock charging system. You're not getting all the capacity, but you're still hitting that brunt of where the battery is strong. And I try to explain this to my dad. Say if, you know, like when you're working out and you're lifting weights, okay? I don't do that anymore, but I used to, okay? So you'll be lifting weights. And I feel like most people can lift more weights when it's here versus down here or way up here. And that's kind of how a battery has its strengths. It's going to have its strengths in that operating range. And you're right around where it's got all the beef, all the muscle. Around 13.8 and above is where that muscle is on a 6 series LTO cell. And that's the truth of it. Now, the lithium iron phosphate, that beef, that muscle is down lower at like 12 to 13 volts. Now, is that bad? No. You know, and it all depends what you're trying to do. The A123 cells, I don't like those too much, but, you know, they work. But either way, you're going to see a big difference. I'm telling you. Now, Jake and a few others might say Yin Long take forever to charge, but even at that point, it might take forever to charge, but your voltage is going to be stronger for a lot longer. And I think that you will see a lot better performance out of your equipment. One, because with just how the amplifiers work, whenever you're at a higher voltage, you're going to clip less early, aka say if you got your gain set at 14.4 and you're dropping down to 12, guess what? You're clipping, and now you won't be. And that's the big benefit. I could tell even with Kayla's car with hers, you know, it was like I was getting more out of it. The sub wasn't getting as hot as fast. And then once the voltage finally started to like go down a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm clipping a little bit earlier. I got to turn this up a little bit higher. And there's a lot of factors too, man. You know, coil getting hot and just how that works. You know, your impedance curve goes up, less power. And then it's just, it's you're fighting yourself. But it's fun, man. It's physics. I love it. You'll love those LTOs, man. You really will. You really will. You've been switching on batteries a lot. I've been, you know, following you for a while. You tune in all the live streams and stuff. And lithium iron phosphate, I mean, that was my first lithium 2 JY HP40s, man. They're awesome. They're still holding up. That's what runs Cookie Monster. And they work. You know, and with the high output alternator, you know, I really don't see a voltage drop unless I got that Warhorse wide open and I start pulling like 4,000 watts. But with that efficiency of that amplifier, I'm staying at like, say, 13.5. I'm just finally starting to dip into the batteries a little bit more so. And it's still only pulling like 350 amps, because the voltage is high, and to do 4,000 and the efficiency is like 90. It's stupid. It is awesome, and I love it. So I don't need to upgrade right away with that, but, I don't know. I like the other options that are available nowadays with the skib cells. The cylindrical ones are nice too. They're a little bit easier to build a bank, in my opinion, of doing it for yourself. Just, you just line them up and that's it. They're a little bit easier. The other ones, people were saying, oh, worry about them rubbing and stuff. The cylindrical ones, you don't have to. I mean, you could worry about that too, but you don't see people putting spacers in between there. And may or may not have a reason for that. Just how it's wrapped around the battery, the cylindrical stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm learning this stuff, but I am constantly testing, practicing, learning, reading informational stuff from 20 different sources all the time, and gathering my own input. Gathering my own. Okay, where'd that go? I thought I had that. Maybe I don't. Yeah, I think I deleted that one. That's okay though. Keep it clipping. Clipping with Andy. I love it. Clipping ain't easy. Crimping ain't easy. That's what ain't easy. Unless you know Vega. Cedric, can I borrow your brain for a day? Finish my stuff. I got you, Cedric. I got you. I don't need it tonight anyway. What's going on, Mac? What is up? Andy, do you recommend any lithium battery for under the hood? Or is it not safe due to the heat? Thank you. Okay, so this is a debatable topic. Any lithium battery, I know LTOs can handle lower and higher heat compared to a lot of different lithiums, which is a big advantage. Like AGMs, not even, well, yeah, AGMs, but they work pretty good, but not as good as lead acid in cold. Compared to lithium iron phosphate, LTOs do a lot better in very cold temperatures, like down to -30, and higher temperatures. It's like 65 C or something like that. So that's like 140 degrees. Now your engine gets pretty hot. It gets like 180, 200 degrees, but inside the engine, maybe outside, maybe not as hot, but pretty hot. And it depends. They make excess power titanate under the hood applications, and you don't see them just driving down the street and just bursting into flames. I don't think that they would make a product that wouldn't work, I just don't think so, and be able to keep a good name for themselves. So with that said, use the ones that are actually from a reputable brand that's been around, you understand, and it's just like Kicker, you know what you're getting the warranty, you're getting reliability, you know what you're buying. And it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's a lot safer that way, especially whenever you're learning about this stuff. Now, I've seen people put lithium right under their hood, and it's just not, perfectly safe, and bad things happen. So I hate recommending that. And I don't have any lithium under my hood. I don't need to. But it does all depend what you're trying to do. Some people don't have space to put a battery in the back of their car, so they just want to run in the front. That's fine. But there's cons with that, and there's also pros. More space in the back. And your lithium's just under the hood. It's fine. But again, just be smart with the stuff. You think about it. If you don't think it'll work, it might not work. And it might work. You never know. And that's the thing that I hate doing these live streams and telling people to do something, even though that it's more cost effective and more energy dense or just louder for the dollar, but it's not safe for everybody, and I will never promote that in a way. So whenever I say something, it's because I feel really confident about it, and I feel confident enough to say it on a live stream, and that takes guts, man. I know you guys are awesome, but the internet is a tough place. We all know that. Thank you, Mac. Roger! Thank you for tuning in. Keep up the great work, Andy. Sorry couldn't make it. Pulled a 16-hour shift and too tired. See you around. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Roger. Missed you guys, and that means a lot, man. And relax. Relax. You deserve it. Oh, the after party is going to be lit tonight. It's going to be lit tonight. got to look at it. I have 2 excess power lithium. Okay, so those are the LIS925s, little tiny batteries. A super bank, one of those capacitors, SB150 super cap, with the 240 amp alt from MechMan. Do you think that will be able to handle the 2 Rockford Fosgate T2500 amps strapped? Well, the LIS925, I'm not too familiar with that one, actually. Let me just take a look at it. I know with the super caps, those are nice, but again, it's like, you know, whenever you have like a tiny battery with tons of discharge and no capacity, you know, it's meant for one thing and one thing only, is dishing out the power, and you need a bunch of them to, you know, have any kind of capacity. Now, they work in conjunction with each other very well. And that's why you kind of can mix it up like that, having lithium and a super cap, and it kind of balances everything out and keeps things happy. And it's good for like those quick, you know, dynamic booms, you know, just helping that amplifier without less voltage sag across just the rails, you know, just the power supply section. It's making everything happier. It really is. Let me see. Okay, so a 925 925, yeah, LI. Let's take a look at this thing. Well, let's gotta look at the pictures first here. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Does it say, okay, 25 amp continuous max 100 pulse 250? No, I'm going to say you're going to need more than that. I really recommend to look at the continuous rating on batteries, and then you can go above that, obviously, but that is the clear indicator of what this can take over and over and over again without, you know, gaining temperature whatsoever. So with that said, I would say, man, with the alternator doing most of that's where you're getting your power, and then in conjunction, the super capacitor, the super bank, is probably doing a little bit more even so than that battery. That battery's nice, but max continuous 100 amps. Okay, maybe go off that one, not the 25. The 10-second pulse, that's just like how a lot of battery companies look at like max C discharge that I've found out. The even the prismatic cells that I have, yeah, to get that 30C, that's down to like 10 volts, man. You know, like that's just ramming on the batteries. So 250 amps out of that battery standalone, probably going to drop down to the 11s, you know, big time. And that's something that it can't obviously keep up with. That 100 amp continuous, probably going to drop. If that's, I don't know if that's 5 series or 6, I'm going to say 5. Probably dropping down to like 12s. Maybe 11.5, not even, probably about 12 at that 100 amps. So that's where alternators really do most of the grunt work, is that power. And the batteries do help. They really do. I can't say that it's going to be enough for the setup. With the Rockford Fosgate 2500s, they are very efficient amplifiers. I think those are, I don't know if those are 2 or 1 ohm, but either way, big, awesome amplifiers. So I would guess if you're running them how you should, I would say 200 to 250 amps out of each one. So think of 400 amps continuous, just so that you're good. Something that can support that. So 240, and I've even learned this too, where your batteries, as long as they can take that recharge power, which these ones should be able to all put together, you're looking at about a 200 or 160 amps continuous that you kind of need, and you're at that 100. That super bank is, it can discharge, but it's not going to be much capacity. It's going to be depleted very quick. Again, they have their purpose. They really do. They really do. Thank you, Fee. I would say beef up. At least maybe either add another one or just change how you're going to do it, just so that you're not overworking that battery. You don't want to overwork that battery at all. You really don't. Bubba Clips on the daily. RYDR Motorsports. How can I get a 150 dB system under the seat of an F-150? I have a seat lift and can have a box height of 13.5 inches. Sounds like my buddy JR that came by today. He was looking for something for his brand new Silverado 1500. And he has a lift kit on it too, like for the seats. Seat lift. 150 dB, I mean, you're talking forward firing, big SPL drivers. Maybe if they ever did come out with the Solo X8 for those guys under there, maybe 3, because they might need a pretty big enclosure, and you might be able to get that 150. I could see it with something like that, or just trucks are tough, man. They're not. Whenever you're trying to stay in a certain vicinity of like the trunk, the cargo area, it gets tough. Bubba, I have ADD, ADHD, and ADHD. More like non-pure air. I can't. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you, man. And Kendrick Lamar has ADHD too. You know, I hate talking about batteries all the time, but you know, that's the only way you do stuff is you practice. It's like going to school. You learn it. You take a trade, and then you can't stop talking about it. Is it safe to mix lithium chemistries like LTO and headway? Oh no. I mean, I would look at it like this. What is their resting voltage? Like any battery, lead acid, AGM, lithium iron phosphate, nickel magnesium, cobalt, just LTO, sodium ion, sodium, lithium, whatever, non-lithium. Just every single one. Polymer. So you kind of want to know that. All you have to do is look up this like state of charge or, you know, resting voltages of each battery cell type and know how many you're putting together. Now, with just headways, those are going to be sitting around 13.2 to 13.4 as long as they're 3.2 volt cells of lithium iron phosphate. And the LTOs are actually 2.3 or 2.4. There's two different type of LTOs, at least from my understanding. I see some ranges. And you usually put 5 or 6 together. So, and I was talking to my dad about this too, because we love this 5S, 6S conspiracy, which one's better topic. Everybody just loves it, especially Jake. And I'm like, you know what? The 5S is really perfect for the people that run a lead acid battery up front, not AGM. A lead acid up front. And most cars have lead acid. I know they're switching to AGM a little bit, but still. And that resting voltage is kind of perfect. The 5 Series LTO sit at 12.4, your lead acid sits at 12.6. So if anything, you're pulling just a little bit of capacity out of your lead acid up front. Now headways and LTOs, and you know, I would never suggest anything unless it's safe. So I'm not going to suggest doing that. Even though that one sits at 13.3 and one probably wants to sit at 13.8 to 14.4 to 15.4, wherever you charge it. But if you're keeping them sitting down low together, I think if anything, that would be the way to do it. But don't do it. But that would be the way to do it, okay? And, you know, have them both rest at 13.3. It would be okay. And a low charging system so you're not overcharging the headway. But it's so much extra work and like things you got to think about. Like, it's not worth it. Just don't run just more of one or one of the other. That's what I would suggest to do. But can you do it technically? Are you leaving some capacity on the table of the LTO? 100%. I appreciate you guys with these questions, man. All right, cool. I feel like I talked about everything. I know we're running a little bit over, but, you know, I missed you guys. We didn't do Tuesday, and yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, yep. We played the Cornut clip. I had to make it. Let's see, Cracker0974. Thank you for sharing all the info on the batteries. Lots of people used AGM or lead acid, I'm guessing batteries, and the new lithium packs a lot of power in a small space. Could get dangerous for the folks that don't know. And 100%, you know, I was always afraid of the word lithium, you know, and I feel like that's just from like people talking, making it sound, which it can be. And you see the videos, the TikToks, the cars that catch on fire, people throwing batteries out of engines. And that was LTO too. So it's not like every single, you know, like one is just the safest, you're never going to have a problem. It's just the safer chart, you know, and there's which one is not as safe. And yeah, so there's always that. And I was afraid too. I really was. I was fine with the AGMs. I'm like, this is easy, just because of people talking. And that's why I love doing what I do, is because then the people that do tune in, that do watch, hey man, it's not as bad as you think. Maybe you could try this. I've done this. And that's the thing. I really don't like preaching anything unless I'm practicing it. Period. And I feel like a lot of people are like that, you know, if they got some kind of common sense. Cornut. I'm just going to play it again because I freaking love it.
Cornut. He does traveling installs.
That is Cornut stealing the caboose tonight, it looks like. Love you too, man, and thank you for all that you do. And Cornut needed one, you know? The OGs, they need one. And I wish I could make one for everybody, one step at a time. We're going to be doing this for a long time. But man, guys, I'm not going to keep you hanging here all night. I think I talked about literally everything. And Jake with a $5 super chat. Would you look at that? I can't even get to it. Can't even. Come on. Play. Oh, it's not playing. Play.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
He says just run one 8-volt and 16-volt golf cart battery in series. All the lithium companies are overcharging for CR123 batteries. Yeah, I heard those ones are pretty cheap, those 123s. One 8-volt and one 6-volt, not 16. I was like, holy moly, Jake, that's a new one. One 6-volt golf cart battery in series. I don't know about that, man. I mean, you're getting 14. You are getting 14 volts, but I feel like one is definitely working a little bit harder than the other too. That's something you got to think about as well. Internal resistance. It's just it's not ideal. Can you do it? Sure, you can do anything if you really want to. You are limited. You really are limited. Thank you, Jake. Hey, you never know. People try some crazy stuff. They do. They really do. Hey, you know, you probably filled it up when you were down there too. That lead acid, you know. Oh, we're running low. Let's just fill it up. No, you're good, man. My dad is probably the worst at texting because he talks to it too, you know, and it's like, man, this is you text like Jason DeClue. Maybe that's why Jason DeClue just talks like that. It might just be text to speech. Who knows? I can't. JT DS3400 LTO 6.0 and 400 amp alt with 2 runs of 1 aught works extremely good. I stay around 14.4 to 14.2. DS3400. Okay, so I'm guessing the 34 under the hood. I got one of those under Cookie Monster's hood. It works good. Good starting battery. LTO 6.0. So that's the JP 2.5 series parallel banks of the 2.9s in there. And 400 amp alternator with 2 runs. And I mean, honestly, your alt's doing most of the power and the batteries are really a buffer. And those are pretty good. Just even one of them, you get like 250, 350 amps down to like 11 volts, you know. And they definitely work and they're small. They really are. Munch louder. you know, and those are lithium ion polymer batteries. And that's what's in the Cyber 12K. But they're lithium iron phosphate polymer, you know, pouches. You know, but that's why with like that stuff, like your phone, it has a BMS, and it's just, you know, there's so many kind of safety stuff on it, so bad things don't happen. SDK, I'm gonna have to move over. We're still going here. We are still going. Where are the pennies at? There's the pennies. Why is this is not working? It's like being there we go. Thank you, Jake. Recharge the eels, throw all batteries in the ocean. Well, I think that's how he refilled his lead acid battery. There must have been eels around, and then boom, there's all your electrolytes. You're done. You're done. I do wonder if anyone has ever tested the amount of, I guess you could say, wattage that an eels. I don't know. Do they do that? Do they got like a gigawatt or two in there? Or is it just milliamps? V Mobile Solutions with a $5 super chat.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Fee. Your feedback is appreciated. For now, I am just running the 12500 on a 2-ohm T3, another Rockford Fosgate. Awesome, man. With a second 2500 in the rafters, more capacity TDH. I mean, sometimes you can do more with less, you know, and if you play within, you know, reason, you can get away with more with less too. So it really all, you don't want to overstrain any battery. And at least they show, you know, the continuous rating, the max. And if you get a nice DC clamp meter, that's kind of all you need. And put it between your amplifier and your battery and see how much current you're pulling. Put on max hold. And it'll kind of give you an idea of what to plan for, and obviously your voltage. Voltage isn't always a clear indication of how well your system's doing. It can be. It's potential energy. But current too, man. There's a lot of factors, and your voltmeter might not reflect those instant drops as well too. Because those cheap voltmeters, man, they don't pick up everything. They just really don't. You need something that's pretty fast and accurate, and there's a few options out there to pick from as well. Thank you, Fee. Appreciate you, man. And look at Trap House. He wants to look at it too.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
And looks like I'll be seeing you at TDH, Fee. That'll be awesome, man. I'm bringing down the L7X build. You'll be able to hear that. And I need a demo this time. I really do. Trap House with a $5 super chat. Jake Holler at Tyler's Slinkard. Oh, Jake, holler at Tyler Slinkard. I've heard it, Tyler. For great performing A123 cells, I pulled 250 amps continuous, no problem. I can't wait for your enclosure to come in. You know, the only thing I've heard about A123 cells is just they're just cheaper cells. Not that they're inherently bad, but some people, what I hear from battery designers is that some are just going with what China's rating them at. Meanwhile, maybe that's not really what you should go with. And even with the prismatic cells that I've been testing, they should not be 30C on the website. They do list them on battery hookup and in, like, you know, Toshiba, where you get them at 8C. But I think a max, you know, for car audio wise of what we could use it for, maybe a good 20C. You know, and anything past that is really pushing it. You know, that's like what, 400? Yeah, that's 400 amps out of a little tiny bank that doesn't cost that much and is the size of your hand. That's a lot of power. So 250 amps I could definitely see from some LFP 123s for sure, man. It's not out of the ballpark of reality. It's not, you know, and I feel like, you know, you kind of want to have some kind of battery capacity alongside that discharge. You really do. Just go overkill when you go with your battery setup. No matter what you do, go overkill. So one, you get more life out of your battery, less cycles per discharge because you're just not cycling it as fast. It has more capacity and everything's going to be happier at the end of the day. It really is. Thank you, Trap. Appreciate you so much. And we got Marcus with a $5 super chat.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
These
You gotta
guys ain't
look at
gonna
it
let
this
me end
way,
the show,
okay?
huh?
You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
You guys ain't gonna let me end it. I love it though, you know, and it means a lot. It really does. I know we're all saving up for the shows coming up and our builds and everything else and all the L7X stuff that's popping out and the kicker swag it's on line. I mean, it's like, yeah, I need that shirt. I don't know why I need it, but I need it. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Marcus, Stanley, and you guys are awesome. You guys really are. What's going on, Kanga? Thank you for tuning in, sir. You just made it at the end of the show. It's pronounced siphon. I'm still going to mess it up. It's Kanga. Siphonics. Hooked on phonics. Yes, I am running out of saliva. So we're going to end the show. I love you. They'll do eel dinos. It's a thing. Speaking of dinos, we got something coming for you this Tuesday. If you're just now joining the show, which 99% of you aren't, you've been here hanging out with me. I love you so much. So make sure you tune in this Tuesday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on this channel. 50% off discount code with all the kicker swag stuff we're giving away. And you get to see a CX 1800.1 dyno. They did it on kicker, but they didn't do the 1 ohm load. And they didn't do like uncertified runs and dynamic runs and pushing it past the limit. My dyno is more realistic with what you're going to see out in the lanes. It really is. Just because the impedance and how it just measures past whatever THD. But we don't even go past 5% because it's a quality amplifier and you're going to see how much power it does. So thank you guys for watching. I love you. And make sure you watch. It's going to be awesome this Tuesday. And, well, I'll just let John tell it for you. I'll see you guys. Have an excellent weekend and stay living loud. See you on the next one. Oh, I thought I had it.
Andy is going to be back online, and he's dynoing a CXA 1801. So if you want to see a dyno of a CXA 1801, check out Andy's show next Tuesday, 7:30. And Andy will be running the kicker show on the Andy show. Is that
dynoing,
right?
Is that prehistoric?
I don't know.
Dynoing?
I don't know.
Dinosaurian?
We'd have to ask an authority of some sort.
That was a stretch.
See you guys.
So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
Got you one. B-Fi. Bo-Fum. Love you guys. Have an excellent weekend. And keep on kicking. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please be safe this weekend. I got lots of filming to do. Make sure you catch the after party in the Discord. If you don't know where it's at, check my About section. It's the first link. See you guys there. I heard you guys like Clip.
Livin Loud Swag.
Love you guys. And the Boss shirt is probably the best thing. And you know what's cooler than a Boss shirt? A Kicker Fosgate. I love it. The spelling is on point. And Juan, as Fee, as we called him for the past 3 years, will love this as well. There he is. You need some of these Fosgates. I love it. I really do. And Wiz, thank you for co-hosting alongside John. Thank you, John, for keeping the show going in the comment section. And I don't know if Cornut's going to take the caboose. I don't know where he is. There he is! Cornut!
He does traveling installs.
Oh no! Jake! He stole it! Oh no! He stole it! Love you guys. See you on the Discord.